Welcome to this channel once again. My name is Dr. Utibe Aka, and I'm glad that you have come to watch this video once again today. As you have seen, today I'm going to deal directly on answering some questions that have regularly been raised, and I decided to compile these questions or take this time to answer them. So if you are coming into this video for the first time to this channel, do well to like and subscribe to this channel. And as well, you can share this video because there is so much of information that we are going to give here. So this video is going to deal on the expert solution to common architecture and construction challenges. We dwell on issues like budgets and design aspects and some other things. So come with me, let's dive into it. Great. All right, this is coming to you from someone. I'm giving you a bit of background about me. I've had about 20 years of experience in both academia and practice. So professional practice of architecture. I've got much experience. If you put my experiences together, it's about 20 years plus. So today I will be addressing what I've just told you, those challenges to help you solve specific issues. All right? Great to have you. So do well. Good, good, good. Welcome to this channel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Go ahead and like the video as you've come in. So as I said, I am going to be dealing on the common questions that people ask. Common questions that people ask. And these questions are segmented. As I mentioned, that we have budgets, we have other things that we're going to do. But let me take question one so that we deal on that. So I'll be reading the question and I will give you the answer. The first question here is, you're welcome to this channel. Great. Yeah, you're welcome. The first question here is, how can I estimate the total cost of my project before starting? Now, a lot of people ask questions like, how much will it cost for me to build? They want to know the actual cost of the building when they have not even started. It's something that requires professional touch. Please, as you've come into this video, I want to say a big welcome to you now, and do well to like this video. Don't just drop the comments, but go ahead and like the video and do share it, because what I'm going to deal with is going to answer global answers, things that people do neglect. So the question one, as I said, I'm taking is, how can I estimate the total cost of my project before starting? That's what somebody asked. So I'm going to tell you how you will do that. There are various components of putting up a building project. So if you are talking about the cost of it, you need to know from what standpoint, where the person is coming from. What does the person have and what does the person not have? Now, in this situation, I'm going to take it that this person just discussed with you and possibly doesn't have a land. So the cost you have to break down your cost into aspects of, the cost of land, design fees, because if you don't consider that, somebody will just say, how much will it take you? You give him the price of putting blocks. So how will he pay for the consultant, which is what makes consultants at the end of the day, they didn't have, they were not factored into it. So the cost of the land, the design fees, as well as the permits that you need to get from approval authorities, and the material. Clients like to pay for material so much, and it is everywhere. But for professional service, it's like, how am I going to pay? Is it not just to do this? Okay. Tell me, if you like this video, why not just hit the like button? And if you don't know how to hit the like button, you'll see a three dot at the top right corner of your screen. Go ahead and hit that, and it will take you to where you can get the like, and just hit the like. Okay. Welcome, Persio. Persio, how are you? Good, 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 good to have you here. Good to have you. Good to have you. All right, let's proceed. Okay, so as I said, if you break down the cost into those elements, it's going to give you an idea of what to factor in. Remember that labor is also part of this, and the labor, it requires you to understand the measure of work that needs to be done. For instance, you're doing a space, you need to know this area, that's the square area of what you're going to build, so that you know the labor cost for maybe tiling of that. You need to know the labor cost, but remember that design has to come up before you can begin to talk about issues of cost. Now, the next step for you to do is to, after you've broken down into all these areas, knowing the cost of all this stuff and break them down, the next thing is for you to use a quantity surveyor or a cost estimator, or tools that will help you quantify to be able to get the cost of the project. You cannot just wake up and get the cost. Yeah, go ahead and like this video if you're just coming into this channel now. Okay, welcome. My name is Dr. Utibeaka, and you're just at the right place where I'll tell you how to overcome some of the challenges or most of the challenges in the built environment, especially when it has to do with design and construction. Okay, and this has been so much headache for a lot of people. So going down from that same question, I'll deal with it because I have a couple of questions here that we need to hit all the way on. The next one is for you to plan for things like things that you cannot cost. So you do what we call contingency cost. Like you can provide a lump sum for plumbing because you must have had an idea of how much it costs to do such a thing in other distance. So that is leaving about 10 to 15% as extra budgets. Okay, but first know the cost of the land. If the person has not got a land, if the person has got a land, then you need to consult to know how much the design fees will take. That design fees involves architecture, structural, and other engineering services, and possibly soil tests. Yes. Then how much the planning authority or approval authority will take for the permits for building. Then you also look at the material and labor. Okay. Question number 2. This came from a very close person. So the question is, how can I prevent my project from going higher than the budget? Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. I would tell you to, in these times, you just need to stick first to the plan, because once you go off plan, definitely there are going to be creeping, things. Your scope will begin to expand, and anytime you allow scope to expand, your costs will change. So stick to the plan. Don't do changes at will. If a plan has been given and a quote has been given to you, stick to it. Okay? And this person that asked this question is not someone in the industry, so it's like a client. So he's like, maybe I must have experienced a situation whereby excuse me, must have experienced a situation whereby the cost of the project changed. Okay? Yeah, welcome. And if you experience such a thing, It means that your situation is different from that of a contractor who is also looking at maintaining cost and not allowing the cost to change. So the point is that avoid changes in your design. Avoid last minute changes in your design. Very, very important. Stick to the plan. And once you stick to plan, definitely the cost will also be. Then do not hire people who are not professionals in the job at all. Somebody might come and give you a lower cost and you run to the person. That is a foul play. Please go for people who are experts, who are qualified, and look for a project manager, an architect to work with you on the project. Look for an architect who is a project manager inclined to work with you. You know, the point is that architects are trained project managers. Do you understand? Because architects see the project, they conceive it, so they see it in all the aspects. That's the training of architects. So for you not to run out of or exceed your budget or plan, please talk to your architect, talk to the professional, and open up, because that is where you get advice on whether to streamline. You know, there are certain things that you would have wanted to do. We do what is called value engineering, cut off some things, and you know, you can put some and remove some, just to ensure that your project stays within cost. Okay, so leave all those people that will tell you they have built for somebody in one place that you don't know, and the person is not qualified. You know, so if somebody is trained for something, give it to the person. That person is quite knowledgeable. It's about knowledge here, all right, and experience. All right, that's why I told you at the beginning, I am a trained architect, and I have been in this industry for over 20 years. I teach, and I also teach people how to design and build, as well as I do that. So that is why you need to consult an architect when you don't want to run out of budget. Discuss it from inception so that you have an understanding or a clear picture of what it will take you. If it means you phasing the project, yes, perfect. Go ahead and phase the project, because you might not want to do everything at the same time because of the cost implications. So you can phase it for you to be able to achieve what you want to do at given times. Then the next one is, when you are going to get materials for your project, you have to get these materials from sources where you know that the prices will not be too high. Imagine that you are looking for stone. Stone is the same everywhere. Stone is stone, right? And if it has been specified that you should use a certain size of stone, and it should be a particular quality, you could get it from a vendor that is expensive, or you could get it from a vendor that is cheap. So you need to weigh the options. You get the point? So get your materials from where you can source it from a lower cost. Try as much as possible to get it within the environment that is proxy to your construction site. The point is that if your materials are coming from a location where it's close by or is closer to you, you will save transportation costs. Rather than getting materials from an environment that is further, you will pay transportation, you know, and a lot of other things. Even delay will come in there. So consider the source of your materials and where the materials are coming from. Then do not play with what is called contract, because contract is very important. Don't say because you want to do a direct labor and you don't have a contract. Even if it is a direct labor, please have a contract with whoever is doing a particular thing, that the thing has to be done according to plan and specification. And remember, I told you at the inception, get a professional who is an architect for your project, so that the person will guide you through the stages. Remember, the architect is the lead, you know, and there is no better person to see what you are what you are constructing or what you are building, rather than the architect, who is actually the person who conceived that project. So if you had somebody who conceived the project, he will be able to see it deeply and more intricate. You can get the architect to be your project manager, and it will save you the hassle. So, and ensure that you have detailed contracts broken down. So the architect should be your eye there. When your contractors, the person who is going to build for you, let the person sign the contract appropriately and make sure that you follow through the contract in detail. This will help you not to run out of budget or get your budget to go higher. All right. Question 3. I think I've dealt with that question too very well. So question 3. This is what question 3 says. So somebody said, when you are designing a house, what should be the most important thing you should consider? Wow. This is my own very special area. When you are designing, first and foremost, the question in your head should be, who is the user? Who is going to use this place? So when you establish who is going to use it, it will give you a clear idea. If you are designing a school, you know that the function of that school is to get people to learn and to learn well, right? So when you do that, the first thing I would say you should consider, there are hierarchy of things to consider, but I think you should consider function of the stuff. Okay, you should consider function as a very major factor when you are designing a house. What are you designing for? Okay, so when you establish the function, it will help you to allocate the right spaces where you need to allocate them, because the kitchen can never be a reading space. Neither can a bedroom be a cooking space. So you see, people go ahead and build and say they are doing a studio apartment, and you are cooking inside there, you are doing everything inside one. No. So when you get the function right, you will be able to place the hierarchy of spaces and how they are supposed to be allocated. The next thing that you should not play with is orientation. Yes, very important, because when you are positioning a building, that orientation will give you a good it will give you a good feel to be able to share, or rather to benefit from the natural elements. If you are at this video at this time and you have not shared this video, you have not done well. So go ahead and share this video. Okay, go ahead and share this video. All right, so if you have done that, then you are in order. Now, the other thing to consider in that hierarchy when you are designing or when you are building a house is, think about the future of that house. Will the person using that place, will there be growth? If there is growth, you need to think expansion. So people design and close up everywhere, and a facility doesn't have any form of expansion, and it is bad. You're supposed to be able to expand. The building should be able to grow. So nowadays, people just design a box, and once there is growth, they need to move to another location. No, you should plan that there should be growth. And when there is growth, the facility, the building should be able to grow and accommodate. And how does building grow? It's actually to expand the spaces. So allow your spaces to be able to expand. And this brings us to the issue I would term phasing. You need to be able to phase your facility. Okay? So if you have not liked this video at this point, go ahead and hit the like button. If you are here and you have not subscribed to this channel, do go and subscribe to this channel right away. All right. The next in that hierarchy is how you use the energy in that space. Is that building energy efficient? You know that the cost of energy now is actually rising globally. So to nail that question very well, also consider energy usage, and it is best for you to maximize as much as the natural sources of energy to keep that building sustainable and easy to maintain, right? Great. So that is that for that question. So I take on question 4 here. Question 4 here says that okay, this was from a student. All right. Let me pick this one for your. I hope the person who asked this question previously is here listening to me. He said, how do I ensure that my design is both aesthetically pleasing and it is practical to solve the problem? Oh, I think what you want to ask here is that how do you make your building both functional and aesthetically pleasing, right? I would rather say you should ask it that way based on what I see. Okay, there are things that are paramount in design of buildings. When you talk about architecture, you talk about you know form, function, structure, and aesthetics. All right, so we talk about the trinity of architecture, which we talk about the beauty, stability, and the function of the space. So that should be able to give you an insight. So first thing to do in this direction for you to make it, look at how you can balance the beauty with the function. Don't allow one to override the other. That's how you can keep the thing to balance very well. But there are different schools of thought. We have a school of thought that deals with functionality first. You have the one that deals with form first. But if you want a building that will merge the two, you have to carry the two along as you are designing. A building should be pleasing. Yes, it should not just be functional. Come on. We are in an era that everything that you do should be appealing, So carry the two along and work with them. Do well to like this video if you are joining us just now. All right, we proceed. The next one in that, I would say, the next thing you could also do there is for you to consider the lifestyle of the person, because there are some people who behave somehow, and for function, you need to actually understand how people behave. The people who will use the space, how do they behave? And the kind of things that they like, because you're actually designing for the user. You're not designing for another person. Then also the choices of your material. Use materials that are when I say evergreen or timeless, that's the right word. Materials that are timeless will keep that building to be beautiful as long as the building exists. But if you use materials that belong to a particular era, once that era passes, or it will require people who do not belong to that era not to like such this thing. If you are coming into this video now, do well to like this video and subscribe to this channel. You're welcome once again, and my name is Dr. Utibe Aka. Great. Now, in line with that too, you cannot achieve a very aesthetically pleasing building without having a professional in that area work with you. So you have to have an architect, because the architect has that eye. And if you're an architect, you should always ensure that function and aesthetics, as well as stability, is carried along firmly in your project. And if you're a client, listen to your architect. So for a client, listen to your architect. because your architect will advise you on how to take this through to getting it right. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, let's look at question number 5. Oh, good. This is from my friend. Yeah. Okay. The question is that how can you choose a contractor that is reliable? How do you know a contractor that is reliable? It's simple. It's not rocket science. I think it's easy for you to just check the previous work that the person has done, but this could be also very dicey because some people are very reliable and they are just coming into the scene. So it might be a bit difficult for you to establish that. But I feel that it is something very achievable and you can get it done and done well. So check out for their previous works, ask for their portfolios, and you see what they do. Then also ensure that whoever is working with you, whether it's a professional or is a contractor, that the person is licensed to, because the person who is licensed has something to protect. I repeat, a licensed professional or a licensed contractor who is licensed actually has something to protect, has integrity to protect. So make sure that you have licensed professionals, and these professionals have the necessary documentation that supports them into working in that industry, so that you can hold that person responsible for any failure. All right. Another way for you to know a reliable professional or contractor is to always request for their, scope of works, breakdown of payments, because you won't just take money and give someone. You need the person to give you scope of works and payments schedule so that you can follow up and pay the person as at when due, and you will know whether there is progress or no progress. Remember that you as a client, you may not really know or measure the progress. Somebody should not tell you something is 10 million or 20 million or 100 million and ask you for 50 million. What is the 50 million for? So you have to be able to get a breakdown of what is to be done at a certain time and what it will cost. You get? So that breakdown is very important. Then, if that contractor is shy of signing any legal or contract that is binding based on the agreements that both parties have had, please run. Please run. If you're meeting an architect and there is no contract presented between the client and the architect, in fact, if you are a client and an architect doesn't give you a contract, I think you should begin to question that architect. And if you're an architect and you don't present a contract to your client, or your client shies away from contract, please, that person is not your right client. So that is how to know a reliable person. The person will not shy away from signing anything that is legally binding. All right, question 6. Question 6 here is talking about what's this? Okay, this is what are the things to watch out that are flaws or red flags during construction? What are the flaws and red flags you can watch out for during construction? Okay, this was from Tenny. Okay. Once you see a material that is substandard, it's a red flag. If a material that is brought to your site is substandard, and how do you know? It is only professionals that will push you into testing. Come on, go ahead and like this video. If you're coming in and you're welcome, my name is Dr. Utibe Aka. And I'm just here to give you an expert solution of the common architecture and construction challenges, which are bordered on the budget, design aspects, and some other things which are actually being answered here. These are questions that people raise, and I'm answering them. Okay, so great, good to have you. Now, what are the biggest flaws and red flags to watch out for during construction? Yes, I said check out if anytime you see material that is substandard, please, please don't allow that. As a professional, don't allow that. As a client, don't accept that. If somebody brings a wood to your site and you see that the wood is not all equal sizes, come on, reject that. The materials that is to be used must be according to specification, and that's why I say you need a professional in your site so that you can follow up and get these things tracked. All right. Another thing that you can see as a red flag, if you get to a site or your clients or whoever is running away from proper documentation or permits, that's a red flag because that building will be pulled down or that building is an illegal structure. So that's a red flag too. Okay. Whenever your contractor comes up with, oh, I need this money that you gave me, or guy, you not go do this work. Oh. Whether it is a direct labor or it is a organized contract, please ensure that such things doesn't happen frequently. If it happens without justification, it's a big red flag. If there is any call for, escalation of cost at any time against what was already done, please, please, please ask for justification for that, and it should be well documented. It could have been a change that, you know, it could have been a change that was not well documented at some point. Good, good. Now, the next issue here that you can look at based on that question is when you keep calling the person who is handling your project and you are not getting response, poor communication, it's a red flag. Oh. You are a professional and you are not able to have good communication with your client. It's a red flag. So for both parties, as long as there is no effective communication, come on, it is something that you should not tolerate. Okay, so these things actually needs to be well streamlined from inception. Okay, hold a second. All right, so I'm back again. I needed to get that place lit for us because I got out of power supply and I can't end here because I'm not done answering these questions. So we continue. Then this is question number 7. Question number 7 here, this guy asked me, what permits do I need before starting a construction project? Wow. Okay, now permits varies based on locations, so don't get it mixed up. But in any case, you need to get something like building approval from the local planning authority. Okay, you need to get, depending on the size of the project as well, you need to get environmental impact assessment if it is required. Okay, then you might need to also do something like depending on the size magnitude of the project too, you might need a structural and safety compliance certificate. Okay, then utility connection approval. So if by the time you're doing a project, you need to have a approval to connect your electricity into that. You don't just build a house and tap lights without having an approval for that. So it's very important for you to know that these are basic things that is required from you. Question 8. So what happens if my building does not meet regulatory standards? Okay. What happens is that you might face penalties or fines. That's what happens. You have penalty, and if you don't comply, definitely the building might be confiscated, or the government might actually take it from you. Remember that the land belongs to the government, depending on the location where you are, depending on the Land Use Act in your location. All right. Another thing is that, as I said, the building can be marked for demolition. You see a couple of buildings that X has been marked, and before you know it, they come and bring down the building. So there might also be restrictions for you to either expand or sell that building. So these are things that you need to actually pay attention to. All right. Then my advice is that always ensure that you work with professionals so that you can ensure these compliances. It would be so bad or so painful that you spend some money to put the structure down and the building is marked for demolition. So who do you need to even consult? You need to work with your architect. Very, very important. Work with an architect. You know that. How did you even get the plan to build that building? It's an architect that you consult from day one, and the architect walks you through this, and the architect is so well versed with the information that you require to get through this process. All right. Okay. So, as you have seen, I've been able to touch these questions. We've dealt with all the questions that we had for the session. So if you feel that you like this video up till this moment, see, if you send me a comment after this video or during this video and you're asking a question, you be rest assured that I will deal with those questions. And I'm telling you, I'm really, really fascinated that when I opened up for people to ask questions, a couple of persons asked some questions, and that's where we had this compilation to, come here and present those questions and give answers to them. So feel free as well to make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and not just to subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Okay? If you also want to speak with me one-on-one, feel free. You can drop a comment here and I will tell you how you can speak with me one-on-one, okay? So that I give you expert as advice as it relates with your project, okay? My name is Dr. Utibe Aka. You can reach us at AU Architects. So at AU Architects, we solve these issues when it comes to design. At CrafterJack, we deal with the construction issues and give you a way forward. All right. So now the next live session, we'll have another live session this evening. So if you really want me to deal with your issues, you can actually drop a comment. I can chip it in while we deal with the issue of the day. And we'll also have another live session by 12 o'clock tomorrow, West African time. So we do 12 o'clock at 7 p.m. daily. So do well to join us, okay? And the next episode, we'll be discussing eco-friendly strategies. So if you come around, I will talk with you on how you can actually, have eco-friendly buildings, which is very important, okay? So once again, I want to say a big thank you for joining me in this live session. And you are the main person. Thank you. You've done well for coming in here, and I'm happy that You encourage me. So anytime you come to watch this video, please, like, 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 and subscribe. Okay? And if you do that, you're in my inner caucus. There is a book I have been working on, and that book is called My Cousin is a Builder. I started that book in 2021. That book is called My Cousin is a Builder. I started it in 2021. Okay. And every time I want to bring that book out, things keep creeping in. So that book will still be out. And I encourage you that once I put out that pre-order, please do well to pre-order so that you have a copy of that book. In that book, I will take you through the common things, the common mistakes that people make during the process of their construction in the name of, this person is my cousin, this person is my brother, bringing in relationships that are not professional into the construction of a building that requires professional touch. In fact, it's that book is a game changer. If you read it, you will never make such mistakes again, and your perception or your perspective to addressing issues in the built industry and even in life completely will change. You look at things professionally because that's how it should be. All right, go ahead and like this video. You are watching this video and you've not liked it, like it now. You have not subscribe now before you leave, and just go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for doing it. And while you're doing that, I want to say a very big bye for now, and get to see you later in the evening. Right? Bye.